Good evening, Truth Serum Nation. I just keep coming at you. I keep coming at you. Thank you for the new viewers. Thank you for the new subscribers. I did that off the wall video earlier from Kendrick Lamar. Squabble up. We're moving on. This I'm going to talk about a mob story tomorrow about some money laundering and real intelligent scheme used to that most people have never heard before on MobTube and whoever you're getting your stuff from on these mobsters. But we'll get into that. Keep posted for the truth serum. Hit the notification bell. If you're new here, I appreciate it. If you're old here, I appreciate it. We're rising up, and I just wanted to document certain things that are going on currently in our nation and historical things that are going on. So, like I say, when it comes to the mafia and the government, especially the Democrats, they're worse than the mafia. They're worse. So, hey, Joe. So I wanted to try to stay in. There's a lady I watch. I already did a video on this subject matter with the FDA and the stuff that they put in our foods, and it's criminal that go back and search. I'm always on point. I go over this stuff before it's even on these other bigger channels, little old me. So, hi, Viv. So, I try to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on. And of course, I'm going to still do mafia stories and all that kind of stuff because we enjoy that. Sir Drums, how's it going, bud? So, you got to figure out number one, we're going to get into some of other stuff, but let's just look at facts. Our mortality rate is systematically gone down from what was it? 73, 74. It's going down. Our mortality rate. Well, doesn't science, technology, and medicine, shouldn't we benefit from advances in technology and medicine and healthcare that you would guess we would be living longer? Mortality? I don't know. It doesn't look that way. I mean, obesity. Now, I'm not going to try to talk smack about maybe if some of anybody here might be watching this, might be overweight or fat. I don't pull punches here. If the, it is what it is. This isn't DEI fruity ply. If you want to go watch that stuff somewhere else. So America has become fat and obese. Not even fat. It's switched to obesity. So a friend of mine, Joey Terramino, God rest his soul. I would wait outside the supermarket and I said, Joey, let's do a little test. Let's watch the people going in and out of the supermarket. This is like a test sample of like statistical anecdotal information, just a small test sample, but it could reflect the truer population, which I believe. I believe a little segment like that is a true reflection on a huger population known as the United States of America. So we're sitting in the car. People are coming in and out. I'm counting. I says, you count the number of people, Joey, up to 100. You count just the people, fat or skinny, count the people. I'm going to count anybody that looks slightly overweight. Slightly overweight. So I says, well, what do you think, Joey? Before we do this, what do you think? I don't know, Joe. His name was Joe. Well, I'm Jojo. I don't know, Jojo. Maybe there's 40 people, 30 people slightly overweight. I beg to differ. I say there's 50. No, you're crazy, Jojo. You're crazy. Well, he was counting how many people were going in and out. When he got to 50 and I got to my number, it was 46. So when he got to 50 on just the general people coming in and out, America is fat. America is obese. And what they're putting in our foods. So let's just say the FDA today came out because RFK Jr. said he's going to straighten out the Food and Drug Administration and all the unhealthy stuff that they put in your everyday foods, which includes dyes, red dye number 3, red dye number 6, yellow dye number 4, yellow dye number 9, all these dyes that they put in there. They put this garbage, poison, toxins into the everyday food that America eats. Why would they want to do that? Well, 35 years ago, America was more into organic type of foods, and the fruit was real, the vegetables were real, the produce was real, not a lot of hormones. Everything was more natural. Until these corporations that just are interested in profits for their shareholders and their millionaire CEOs, they sell out America. They're worse than the mafia. So let's continue, folks. Get a cup of coffee or something. And my poor mother passed away from cancer, lung cancer, and brain cancer. She never smoked a cigarette. She never smoked a cigarette in her life. So how do these dangerous toxins get in there? Yeah, Sir Drums, the red dye was banned. Sir Drum says red dye was banned at least over a decade ago in Europe. USA is behind. Of course they're behind. But with this being said, the FDA come out and says, we're going to ban red dye number 1, number 3. We're going to ban it. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's not going to take effect for 2 more years. Why? Did they get a call from one of the corporations to say, hey, put that on hold for a couple years. Here's another packet. Here's an envelope. That should be put in. They could institute that immediately. The manufacturers of food, they have the ability to make your food healthy. We have, it's the year 2025. They are able to provide nutritional, healthy food for us to consume, but they don't. Well, the true serum, why don't they? Because there's no profit in healthy Americans. You become fat, you get diabetes, you get all these other types of diseases and ailments. And then what do? You got to go to the doctor. He's going to write you 7 prescriptions for all of this stuff. And then you're going to be on the wheel. You're going to get caught on the wheel. And that's it. They take you from point A, you stuff your face with toxics. I did a video last month on this. I did a video on this last month. You just think I'm just some old gangster runner that's not educated in fields of knowledge, and I'm just oh yeah, he shot him in the back and he stabbed him. No, I get down and study. That's why I was on the dean's. I study. People get proactive on what the hell's going on. Now, so the Food and Drug Administration, right before RFK Jr. gets in, because he was going to bar the red dye and the green dye and the whole slew of poisonous stuff that's out there. And he was going to come in and trash all that and ban it. So just to save face, the FDA comes in and says, oh, we're going to do that just so RFK Jr. can't claim that he changed it. Well, the FDA, you've had 35, 40 years to get your act together. What a coincidence. What a coinky dinky it is that you just did what RFK Jr. said he was going to do. Because you're evil criminals for profit, and that's all you're concerned about. Donald Trump and his cabinet and members, they have America's interest in place. Whoever can't realize that, whoever can't digest that knowledge, well, you got some kind of derangement going on. There's some kind of derangement. Forgive me, Go to the doctor and find out, and he'll bill you for that. So if you're deranged like that, you know, get your insurance card out, okay? So they've been perpetrating this bull crap, and then now inflation's real bad. If you even think about going to the grocery store and buying organic foods, they're 4 times as much. They cost 4 times as much as that garbage they're spraying on your foods right now. Pesticides, insecticides, polluting your food. And what does America do? Mm-mm. Chew it all up. Chew it all up. Chew it all up. Good old America. There's third world countries mortality rates are better than United States of America. Obesity rates. Are we just a consumerist nation that is just blinded by logic and reason in every aspect of society and living and behaviors? If that we just become consumerist, dumbed down, uh I don't understand. George Music for all 4 seasons. We eat too much. We eat too much. Welcome here. I do a lot of music stuff on here too. So uh I did that Kendrick Lamar today. I know it's not really the demographic of my viewers here, but Squabble Up, Kendrick Lamar, that was a sweet beat. So you know, so we need to be a little bit more proactive. I'm going to behave on my channel so I don't get shut down and all that. And I didn't really want to do political stuff, but I'm going to get it in. I'm going to try to do it, communicate it in a way where they can't. Yeah. Thank you, George Music, for all 4 seasons. Let's take a look. All right, we got them boys down there. It's little old me. I'm in the trenches. I like to tell old mafia stories and all that. I wasn't no big person and all that. I was a little run around errand boy, but I actually like to talk about other things, current events and things like that we can throw around and see what's going on. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. When I was in college, I went to college right out of high school, 17, and then I went back to college as an adult, and I did an after school project in the inner city, and I had seventh, eighth, ninth graders that were preparing for the SAT tests. And I was the only white person in the school, but I wanted to get some tuition credit. So I was like, how come nobody wants to do it? Because it's a crazy school and they got police, they got metal detectors. And I was like, I'll do it. I'm from the hood. I can handle that. I can handle racial slurs. Hey, honky. Hey, white. Hey, cracker. Blah, blah. I can handle that. I can handle that. But I had seventh, eighth, and ninth graders that didn't know what 4 plus 4 was, and I'm trying to prepare them because they see when they don't excel on these tests, they can't get the state aid. They can't get state aid for that school in that district. So I said, I'll do it. So everybody and they were just passing the kids along. They were passing them along because I don't know how the 10th graders made it to 10th grade. They had the knowledge of second and third graders. So we have all this underlying corruption in America. And if you come out and say anything about it, then you're the bad guy. But let's move along. I like Melanie King. I like Melanie King. She's a beautiful black lady. She's got a channel, a YouTube channel, and she's got an excerpt that I'm going to play. I don't have technology here. I don't have video and things like that. But she's going to break it down. I got it here. I don't have video and Maybe someday I'll rise up. Okay. But I have the knowledge and I have the ability to communicate effectively, and we can rock and roll. I smoke cigarettes. I drink coffee. Go, hang out with me, please. I'm lonely. I'm lonely. So I'm just gonna play her voice, okay? I'm gonna play her voice, Melanie King. So yeah, this was 5 days before Trump takes office that the FDA comes out and says, "Oh, we've just realized that red dye number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is toxic, and we just came out and realized that green dye and yellow dye 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 14, 17, 23. We've just come out after 40 years. We've just come out 5 days before Trump's inauguration. We just figured out that this stuff is dangerous for the consumers." So they can make that announcement before RFK Jr. could make the announcement. They are straight up scrubs. They feed you lies from the tablecloth. That's System of a Down. Remember that group System of a Down? They feed you lies from the tablecloth. La 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 la. All right. Let me get my act together here. Don't lose control of this. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, Joe. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Keep your eyes on the road and your hands upon the wheel. Let's check out Melanie King, my good people. I appreciate the people that keep me company. They motivate me. They help me have confidence. All right.
Media and liberals are saying how RFK Jr. is so dangerous. He's going to ruin the health of Americans, and we're all going to be dead under him. Just know you're being gaslit. You're being lied to.
All the liberals. Here comes the bad man. Orange man bad. RFK Jr. man bad. Everybody Republican is the bad man. This bad. RFK Jr. is talking about the FDA and everything. They're all bad man. But now what happens 5 days before? Oh, he's the good man.
This is what they do. This is propaganda because they are not there. The media is not there for the benefit of the American people. The FDA is not there for the benefit of the American people. We damn sure know that liberals and the Democrats are not there for the benefit of American people. And a lot of these Republicans, too. None of them are.
Both sides.
You've got to do the research yourself. And isn't it so funny that 5 days, a few days before he becomes, when RFK Jr. takes his position, right? When he's in charge of all of this.
I already stated that in my prior library of videos, and you should see the petroleum they put in this stuff is so toxic that it's gone unfettered, it's gone unchecked because everybody gets an envelope. Turn your head and get an envelope, and you and your family could go to Hawaii. You could take trips to Disneyland, and you can rock and roll and live a really high standard of living because who cares about the health of the American people? So there's enough envelopes to go around, okay? Just like the mafia. They paid off everybody too. So the government is this Democrat regime. I equate that, which is equivalent to gangsters, but at least the mafia kept their violence within their community, so to speak, whereas the FDA has a whole country that is being affected by these poisons and toxins. They implement this insanity on a nation population. The mafia at least had it within their family, different families. Okay, let's put this out. All right, so let's continue. Juju, what's going on? Vivian Mallory, we got it. George Music. George Music for all 4 seasons. I'm going to do another music video. I don't know. We do it all. Nancy Pelosi. Oh, yeah. So I used to see politicians. I didn't know who they were till one of the guys said, well, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. I said, well, what the hell's he doing in here? What's he doing in a mob? It was a restaurant. But you would see these guys smoozing up to Sam, the boss. And I was like, they should be at odds. They should be enemies. A lot of envelopes. Some of those envelopes are even this big. I found this after 35 years when I used to deliver the bread and milk. I found this after 35 years. Things were getting hot, Things were getting hot. Thank God I never made this last delivery of the bread and milk because it might have been my last. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. But I found this. I was looking through my old photo albums and stuff in storage bins. Big envelopes that go out. That was a gambling ring and stuff like that. And stay tuned for a video. I'm going to talk about how money was laundered. As only so much I can say, but I'll just say it was a good idea of, well, if you got money, a sum of money, and you got to infiltrate it in, however, clean it up or whatever, try this, You guys get the gist of it. So let's listen to Melanie King, the beautiful lady here.
They decide to do this. Let's take a listen. Just in, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, has banned the use of red dye number 3, which is used in thousands of food products and is made from petroleum.
Petroleum?
It's amazing how many things that are added in our food that are a byproduct of in their waste from industrial use. That includes the fluoride
that video I did last month. I'm talking about feces, fecal matter, and stuff of that nature that they would throw in to the manufacturing of some of these foods. Crazy. Hey, Juju, how's it going? I don't read, but I just ordered your book. Better be good. God bless you. It's a great read. It's a great read, folks. It's about divine intervention. It's about the mob, and it's a great read. The link is in the description. I don't sell any. I don't really promote it, but I can write. With the best of them. And I'm going to write another book coming up, and it's just tidbits, anecdotal things, interesting facts about the mafia and things like that. You could turn to any page and you could have an interesting story. So that's my next game plan. All right. So let's get back to the story. Well, petroleum, sludge, everything else, Sir Drums. All right, folks.
It's in our water that they tell us is so healthy. It's industrial waste, just so you know. It's not even food or medical grade, but it's good enough for us to drink it. Red dye number 3 has been linked to cancer in animals. The dye gives beverages and foods a bright red cherry color. Does it now? The dye.
Thank you, Lee Montoya says, I gave your channel a shout out on Dominic Cicali channel today. Thank you. And I'm not going to get into mob soap opera stuff and everything. Dom Cicali, who I believe was a very dangerous man, he tells his thing. And I don't want to get into mafia soap opera wars and all that. Everybody's got a right to hustle. Whoever they get, they get. I'm into telling the stories. And that's what I'm going to, if I can't hang my hat on my ability to tell good old school mafia stories, then I should rot on the vine. So Dominic Cicali, I wish the best for him. I'm not going to get into the Mob 2 soap opera. Thank you, Lee Montoya. I really appreciate that well-intentioned thing. Your great intentions. All right. Thank you. Because I need all the help I can get over here. Oh, announcement. We just reached 1,300 subscribers. Thank you, Lee Montoya, Vivian, Sir Drums, Juju, everybody, Joe Ruffino. Thank you, folks, for helping an old man out. We're rising up. Johnny D, thank you. Thank you, folks. 1,300. You know I got blocked for a long time. I'm going to behave. I'm going to be a good boy. You got to play. You know what's up. I really got to watch what I say. I'm not going to swear anymore. And this is about as political as I'm going to get, because now that my channel is turned on, they put me in the corner like a misbehaved boy. So we can rise up. We got to start somewhere, Lee. We got to start somewhere. Oh, Lee, good looking Lee over there. So Uh, we got to start somewhere, okay? And I'm going to try not to slurp because if I saw somebody slurping on the channel, I'd smash my computer. All right. So I'm going to try not to slurp. Okay. But I'm hooked on caffeine and I'm hooked on nicotine. And I'm talking about the Food and Drug Administration while I'm drinking and smoking and I'm damaging my body. I'm damaging my body, you know. So, but I got to do something. I can't just, we all got our vices, but in the same breath, we should be more aware of what's going on. What's going on? Like with my buddy Joey Taramino, we counted the people walking in and out of the supermarket, 100. When you get to 100, let me know how many were overweight. It's 85 people. Not only a little overweight, but I'd say 20% were obese. We sat in the parking lot of a grocery store and the wheels are always spinning in my head. So I was just chilling out, reading the racing form. And I just noticed everybody going in and out of the grocery store is fat. You know, I'm not trying to put anybody down out there. You have a right to do whatever the hell you want to do. But then I said, let's count. Let's count. So when you become fat, you go to the doctor, he writes you prescriptions, and you see these commercials. Do you see these demented, whacked out commercials for the prescriptions and the medicines they're peddling? The side effects. I was watching a commercial that said the side effects might give you the urge to gamble. What kind of psychotropic stuff are these doctors writing because they get kickbacks from the drug companies? Wow, what are we consuming? Yeah, I don't have to tell anybody, and I'm not trying to disparage or talk smack. People want to eat. I smoke and drink coffee. That's very unhealthy. It might be more unhealthy than weighing 300 pounds. But I'm just saying what's at play. Connect the dots. Connect the dots. Our food was organic 40 years ago. Now you got to pay 5 times higher in the grocery store for organic foods. They're worse than the mafia. They're worse than the mafia. I don't take any prescription or anything like that. I have friends that got their little plastic pill cases out for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Billy and Sally, get your little plastic calendar container, and you take 3 at 8 in the morning, and they got it down to a science. I don't take anything. My blood pressure was up. I started walking. I had a big fat gut. I started walking. I lost 30 pounds. I went back to the doctor. My blood pressure is normal. Don't put me on 4 different medications because you got to take one for those side effects. Then you got to take another one for the side effects of the side effects. And then you're on the merry-go-round. Where it stops, nobody knows. We know where it stops. We are gathered here. That's where it stops. We are gathered here. Yeah. George music for all 4 seasons. 300 pounds is serious and not good. You see all the colorful dyes and things on the cereals and all that. It's a visual and consumption. So let's get back to this beautiful Melanie King. Let's check it out.
It's still used in thousands of foods, including candy, cereals, cherries and fruit cocktails, and strawberry-flavored milkshakes, NBC reported. Food manufacturers have until January 15th, 2027 to fix their products. They get 2 years to clean this up.
There's a serious crisis, and you know what? We called you out. We're going to straighten things out. But you know what? We're going to wait to 2027 for them to change up what they're putting in the foods. It should be enacted as a state of emergency, congressional state of emergency, because it's a public health risk on our country. It should be instituted into Congress as an emergency session. I can't say the word session. So, but let's wait 2 years. Let's wait 2 years. So people could put on another 40 pounds. Okay. It's the middle of January. How many people already broke their New Year's resolution? Yeah. You're going to lose 10 pounds this year. You're going to lose 20 pounds this year. Sorry, Billy and Sally. It appears to me that you already put on another 6 in 2 weeks. Forgive me, folks. Johnny D, hang in there, Johnny D. You can do it. You can do it. When you get old like me, just walk a little bit. Walk. Cardio. I used to run track. I never smoked. I used to be very, very health conscious. And my mother, God rest her soul, she was smart as a nutritionist. And I was educated very young when I was an athlete. And now, but I don't eat any more junk. I can't afford it. So thank you, Bidenomics. I can't afford it. You know, well, your prescriptions could be covered, but you're paying for your health care provider. You're paying. Being healthy is a lot is better for your wallet and your purse. Being healthy, you know, it just happened by osmosis because I can't afford all that stuff, so, and I lost all this belly fat. I'm 6'1", 6'2", and I was up to 237 pounds, my good people in here. 237 pounds. Well, that's all right. You're 6'2". No, it was all in my big fat gut. So I have thin legs and a big fat gut, like a cartoon character. So I'm down to 207. I took that 30 pounds off. And let me tell you another thing. Your waistline, the proportional effects of your waistline into what the normal dimensions are. If you're 6'1", 5'10", 5'4", you should have a waistline 24 inches, 28. If you're out of proportion to your height and your waistline is real big, that's a direct correlation and factor that leads to heart disease and cardiac arrest. Just from your waistline being out of proportion. Now, my belly was so big, I should have weighed 400 pounds. I shouldn't have had thin legs. It's just that you wear all that fat around your waistline. It's the first place in men and some women. They put it on in different places, but so that's just food for thought. Things are a lot easier said than done, and just be aware, and it might be a little cheaper. So if you're on a diet, it means you're spending less for money, you're eating less, so you might have a couple extra dollars to go to the amusement park if that's possible this next summer. So they're not fat, they're just too short for the weight. Leave my Toyos in the house. So we like to rock and roll here, Come on, Melanie. Yeah, I love this Melanie. Beautiful woman, just a beautiful woman, so well educated, and she puts it down. We're out there trying to hold down the fort. We're trying to protect the fort, and I'm going to behave this time if I want to do political type videos. But we still got some good mafia juice. I throw a lot of stuff was funny in the mafia and everyday stuff. It's just not Goodfellas and A Bronx Tale and Mike Francis and Sammy the Bull Gravano that spun that stuff till it's dry. Successful channels, yes, but you get it all here. This is a one-stop shop here, okay? So let's rise up and grow together, and we could sing Kumbaya by the campfire, all right?
Guys, this has been banned in cosmetics, red dye number 3, for 35 years. There have been people.
They banned red dye number 3 in cosmetics, where you can't even put this poison on your face for 35 years, but it's okay to put it in the food.
Pushing for this entire time. They knew that it was linked to cancer, and particularly male rats. They have known this, but they have done nothing. Why? Because they're lobbyist groups, and they've been able to push and push so that they can keep using it to.
Lobbyist groups mean that the envelopes full of money are being passed around, so these politicians can support their agenda. That's all.
Rich themselves.
I haven't been able to take my eyes off my husband's pants since he tried.
Oh, there.
What happened afterward was.
What's going on with all these?
I thought it would be just push so that they can keep you.
What's going on with all these dirty commercials about a man's private? What's going on with all these dirty commercials that they're? What's going on here? Holy cow! Jeez. Times are changing. Holy cow.
Using it to enrich themselves. Food manufacturers have until that time, which is atrocious because that's 2 years from now.
2020.
Drug companies, they have until 2028 to stop using it.
The FDA, well, the food companies have to 2027 to change it, but the drug companies have to 2028. What's wrong with today? An emergency session in Congress. So just keep poisoning our citizens? Even the Democrats? I'm trying to stick up for the Democrats too. I don't want to see you get poisoned, even though you might have some derangement problems. I don't want to be totally evil.
What? I'm giving them a good 3 months. That's what it should be. That should be
90 days.
They have known this.
90 days.
Why do they get years to keep selling this poison to the American people? So their profits stay, so they can keep making money? Why isn't it an immediate ban?
Today.
They know how to change it out
Of
right
course.
away. They have the formula ready to go. They have known about it. But again, they're getting all this time. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been a strong advocate for removing dyes from food products, specifically yellow dye number 5 and red dye 40.
Now, I've done some research on this yellow dye. I don't know which one is worse. The red dye number 3, there's different numbers, and we're not going to get into all the scientific stuff. And, I'm not going to try to impress you guys with science. What it is. They have these dyes, they have numbers on them, and their responses are really quick. Thank you, Vivian Mallory. That's my first super chat. Well, there's a couple guys that get in there. Thank you, Vivian Mallory, all the way from California. I hope you got a hose full of some water out there, Vivian Mallory. So, wow, thank you. Believe me, I can use that. I can use it. But in further references, there is a Cash App link where I can realize most of the money if I get a donation. I don't want to be begging, but for future reference, I have a Cash App there, and I can realize 97% of the Cash App. But I'll take what I could get at this point in time. And thank you, whoever said they were going to order the book. It's like the price of a cup of coffee, and it's a good read. So I really appreciate you guys that come in here. Thank you, Vivian Mallory. um, and Lee Montoya, Kennedy will do good for our country because there are some people that aren't bought and paid for. And when you go against the propaganda machine, the political machine, the profit machine, then you got a bullseye on your back. They want you out. We saw what happened July 13th and a month after that. Don't step on those profits. And watch my video about the California fires and what's behind it with those that billionaire couple, the Resnicks, and what really is going on behind the scenes with the California fires. So, oh, let's send the money to the Red Cross. Let's send the Red Cross. How about the government and their citizens? And don't. So now you got to pay the Red Cross to help out California. Joe Biden got up there and he gave each citizen $770. He gave each citizen of a natural disaster, and he just come back from Ghana or Africa where he gave $40 billion or 40 million or 40 billion. Other countries, as you're well aware of, this Biden regime, put other countries, other citizens first before our own national interests. So even though I don't agree with the origins of the California fires, here's $770, Gavin Newsom, and do what you got to do. But if you're just some third world country that ain't got nothing to do with us, here's 40 million, here's 40 billion, and the taxpayers got to pay. What do we want to foot the bill for these countries when our country is bankrupt, a biggest deficit known to mankind? They're just writing checks everywhere. They're just writing checks everywhere. Yeah. Vincent Hernandez. All right, you're back. Yeah. Watch Dr. Bergman on the subject. All right, Lee Montoya. I like to check out different things. I like to gather information. I just don't buy swampland all the time. I try to dig deep. I got a lot of time on my hands, and I like to break it down. I try not to let too many curveballs get over the plate. Oh, geez, I should have known this. I should have known that. We all make mistakes and everything, but I want to be on point. I'm from a military family that shed blood and lost lives on the battlefield. I'm from a military family. And as far as gender on the battlefield, and they're up there trying to talk smack about Pete Hegseth, who was boots on the ground in a war, boots on the ground on the war, 20-year decorated hero veteran, and these woked out DEI senators in the approval hearings for the Department of Defense nominee Pete Hegseth, they're up there bringing up smack and gibberish. Listen, if I'm on the battlefield getting smashed around, I want a man next to me that's strong enough to pull me out of there. Sorry, I want a man on the battlefield next to me. Not lax restrictions so they could get their DEI agenda in until our military. And look what happened to our military. Look at how we've been shamed around the world. They're laughing at us. Look how we've been shamed because of this woked out Biden-Harris DEI fruity pie agenda, and the whole world's laughing at us. Yeah. And then when they had the ceremony for all the on Veterans Day and all of that stuff, you saw the true colors. Kamala, she's back there giggling. They don't care. They don't care. Just like the exit from Afghanistan. That's all. They just released the hostages, my good people, while we're on the subject. Hezbollah, Hamas, Donald Trump has already made it known. Now, they've been there. When I was younger, they had the hostages for 444 days. They got released. The hostages, 1981. Terry Anderson lived down the street from me. They got released after 444 days. That was 1980 because Jimmy Carter was a little soft and Ronald Reagan was coming in to say, I'm going to bust some butt. So the same thing is happening today where Donald Trump is coming in after Joe Biden and Kamala Harris let them hostages over there. I think it's 475 days. Donald Trump said, when I get in, I'm blowing everybody up. I'm blowing everybody up. So do what you got to do. So 5 days, 10 days before his inauguration, now they have clarity and they're going to start to release the hostages after 470 something days because Donald Trump isn't playing any reindeer games. He ain't playing any of that silly saddle, all that gibberish. You got our, we're one of the most powerful nations in the world. And the last 4 years, we're getting bitch slapped from third world countries. We're getting slapped around. Biden sleeping at the world summits. He's pooping his pants at the world summit, falling asleep. All the world powers are laughing. Yeah, look, there's the president. They got that Kamala Harris also. 2 scrubs. Donald Trump said, you want to hold them hostages after I get it? We'll see. We'll see. All that sand over there, it'll be glass. It'll be Corningware. When we get, so Biden or Kamala Harris couldn't do anything. Kamala Harris snubbed Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu during her campaign because she was hungover for her party in Atlanta when she was doing the booty dance. She could care less about the prime minister coming in to the United Nations to speak on these current events that were going on over there. She could care less. She was having a party over there in Atlanta, running for president. Netanyahu must have been like, damn. And he made a real good speech that day, too. Yeah. I know, Vivian, I better be careful what I say because I know. Benny Blanco from the Bronx. Yeah, and Trump means every word. Benny, Trump's not playing it. This pity patty, fruity pie, woke, emasculate man. They want to chop your cayunes off, and they want to play this fruity pie, tiptoe through the tulip. Yeah. No. We're getting back to a strong nation with strong leaders. So, so go ahead. They're already releasing some of the troops. I don't really know. I got to watch tonight, maybe get updated on some of it. But how come it didn't happen for the whole failed, drastic, horrific Biden-Harris administration? No, they're up there talking about put boys and girls wearing dresses and woked out, perved out stuff. They're just throwing that in your face. All this weird stuff when there's really important things that have to be addressed. Governor Newsom out in California, he's another bum. And Dorothy Hochul, the New York State governor, she's another one. The only thing missing from her are the devil horns, and they want to tank. They want to tank the country. They don't have the citizens' interests in mind. Turn America into a woked out fruity pie freaking, I don't even know what to call it. They're worse than the mafia. All I know. Let's check out this beautiful Melanie King, who I might be falling in love with. Forgive me, folks. Forgive me.
And red dye 40. Now, this is red dye number 3. There are more. Like said here,
There's more.
Yellow dye number 5 and red dye number 40. So this is a start. But isn't it crazy? Look at this comment. And this is exactly was my sentiment. They didn't want to have Kennedy get the accolades. Such a corrupt organization. So they change it randomly. Remember, he's dangerous. The things he's proposing are going to hurt us. But isn't it amazing? Just a few days before he comes in, they decide to ban this.
They want to take the credit for it. It's been going on for years and years and years. But now, right before Kennedy gets in, yeah. I know, Lee. I know. You got to put a muzzle on me. But my family defended my freedom of speech. That's why I tanked my channel. I says, well, you know what? They were risking their lives on the battlefield, and I got to be afraid to say what I want to say here. That makes me a wimp, So I had 700 videos and just, sacrifice that. But they were risking their lives. So they were willing to risk their life, but I got to be afraid of what I say here. I look at that as being a punk wimp.
You cannot listen to the propaganda that you hear on the news or politicians. This is why it's important to get your information from the people, from other people, from independent people reporting on these things. Because
legacy media is all done. Propaganda media is all done. The View, the Spew, and all them haters over there, they're all done. They're all tanking. They just got Disney and globalists supporting all that garbage they put on. Their ratings are tanked. Saturday morning cartoons rate higher than that legacy media circus they put in front of people every day. Listen, nobody's watching that network garbage. People are content creators on X and other media platforms, and you can get real juice. That propaganda, traditional ABC, NBC, CBS, it's all done. Nobody's watching that garbage anymore. Get over it. Nobody's watching that. All that circus.
Most independent people have no agenda. Okay, we don't have corporate sponsors. I don't have a corporate sponsor.
I wish
I had a sponsor. The only person sponsoring me is me, realmelanieking.com, which you can get the.
Most of us are independent content creators. I wish I had a sponsor. Thank you, Vivian, for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And I appreciate your support by your views and your likes and everything like that. I appreciate that. I'll take what I can get at this point. I'm just going to stay in the trenches and try to continue, try to raise up and have fun and meet people in here and everything. And, so sponsors are good, but it's not, it's not every day where you just know how much revenue you're going to take in from ads and all that. I might have an ad on a video, and a whole video, I get 3 cents.
Which you're going to stay tuned. I have got some great merch, new
She's
merch
got
that
merch.
you're going to want to see. RealMoneyKing.com.
Come on.
But let's continue this
All
first.
right.
It says, remarkable timing, huh? 5 days before the Trump administration takes over. But he's so dangerous, but they're already trying to implement things that he's going to do anyway. Trying to, I guess, get credit. Biden's trying to do these last-minute land grabs and claim, to fix his legacy. Listen, your legacy is Ashley Biden's diary. Your legacy is Hunter Biden. Your legacy is a lot of things, but it will not.
That's nice that RFK is coming in and the FDA is changing their tune so they can get the credit. But why is it taken to the year 2027 and the year 2028 for this stuff to be implemented? Why? You over there, you in the back. Yeah, can you tell me why? Yes. There's more envelopes that have to be passed around. The cash grab. So get it all in. We know this is an urgent crisis today, but we'll look at it in the year 2027 and the year 2028. We got to pass out some more envelopes. You know, I want to get the wife and the kids a new trip, and maybe a fur coat, some rings, and maybe we could go to the Great Wall of China, or we can go to the pyramids in Egypt, or we can go to Hawaii. We got to get a little more in. We got to get a little more in. Vivian, the Olympics will be held in Los Angeles in the year 2028. Excuse me. Are they going to mock the Last Supper? Are they going to mock the Last Supper? Like what they did to this last Olympics was a disgrace. Do they want to mock the Last Supper? Do it. Well, Trump, will he still be in office? Maybe Gavin Newsom, he'll put a pink wig on or something, and he'll be the conductor in the parade. Put a pink wig on Newsom over there, and he'll be the parade marshal for the Olympics. And he'll have the baton, and he'll be walking. Yeah. Put little girls in the boys' bathroom, put boys in girls' bathrooms, and the government should have control over your child, because if you don't listen to your school teacher, then they'll put the parent in jail and remove the children from the home. So they didn't have any parental rights. How is this Governor Newsom still in office? 1 to 4 million people have already fled the state. The only people left probably can't afford to move, and the rest are just deranged. But they should have a recall. Johnny D, be careful. I hear you, Johnny D. You guys can read it, but I can't say it, okay? So we're going to continue this. Just let me get a coffee. I'm addicted to caffeine. I don't get a lot of company over here. And let me refresh my coffee. All right? Just let me get my coffee. I'll only be 2 minutes. Hang in there. Hang in there, folks. Did I break YouTube rule number 1? Don't leave your camera. I got addiction problems to caffeine and nicotine, but the show must go on. We got a real big show tonight. We got a real big show. Making the United States, America, and North American debut, all the way from England, the Beatles, singing their new hit, It's Been a Hard 4 Years Night. It's been a hard biting night, and I've been shaking like a dog. It's been a Kamala Harris night. There's nothing left to eat but frogs. Come on. Well, we'll put another half hour up on it. You can observe my beautiful set here. We got the Sahara, Las Vegas. We got the horse race track. We got, look at my beautiful set here. Enough of the bull. Enough of the bull. We got some important stuff to address here. Earth-shaking stuff, okay? Let's check out beautiful Melanie King. And yeah, they want to take credit. The Joe Biden administration, 5 days before the inauguration, they want to take credit.
It's Hunter Biden. Your legacy is a lot of things, but it will not be these things that benefit the American people. But let's see. I'm going to play this video for you guys, and then I'm going to hop back on screen because I want to give you more information, and particularly a list of foods that actually have this dye in it, so you can.
I already did a video on that list, which is mind-boggling, of everyday stuff that we consume, and I get into it more elaborately. I don't even know what she's gonna say on here because I didn't watch this. I seen the title, but I get more in depth into it with the foods and everything like that. And when it comes to the dyes, the red dye, the green dye, yellow dye, and all that, they say different numbers. There's a ton of numbers. They only release a certain amount of information, but there's a ton more of these dyes and chemicals that the scientists label as to be particular red dye number one, red dye number, you know what I mean.
Know, be informed on whether you want to continue to consume these products or not.
How to turn a chilly 50
Oh,
degree
come on.
into a comfortable 73 degrees in 90 seconds.
Really?
To know, be informed on whether you want to continue to consume these products or not.
This is what most Americans innocently put into their bodies these days, and most alarmingly, into the
RFK.
bodies of their children.
RFK Jr. This is him.
And it's no coincidence that Americans die earlier than Canadians or Germans or Italians or Japanese.
Mortality rates are worse than third world countries.
Or Koreans or Australians or most any other comparable country. And it wasn't always that way until the early 1990s. Our life expectancy was the same or better than other developed countries. Then suddenly, more and more Americans began suffering from chronic diseases, from obesity, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and all kinds of autoimmune diseases. Our maternal mortality rate soared to the highest of any developed country on earth.
Wow. You know, I fasted the other day, and I woke up and I felt better because I didn't just put toxins into my body. Well, I had to anyways. I didn't have any food in the house, so I had to fast anyhow.
Same with infant mortality. Like the frog in the slowly boiling water, we didn't really notice as we got sicker and sicker. We've grown now to accept chronic disease conditions as normal. But now, in 2024, we're finally waking up.
The frog in boiling water. Now, if you just throw a frog into boiling water, he's going to spaz and jump and everything else. But if you put a frog in cold water and gradually turn the temperature up, he'll become more accustomed to that environment. He'll become more accustomed. He will accept it. He won't jump. Just like Americans and the psychographics of psychology and what they do to people slowly and incrementally, and just, there's a lot of psychological theory about human behavior behind this, but we can't dive into that right now.
Up to this cataclysm, and we're asking ourselves, how in the world did this happen? Well, a big part of it is our diet. Restaurants that serve contaminated food are fined or shut down. But when it's the government that approves the poisons in our food, a few people get very, very rich, and the toxins end up in every supermarket aisle. Let me show you what I mean. Doritos, Cheez-Its, Captain Crunch, gummy bears. Everyone knows that these are junk foods, so maybe you wouldn't be too surprised to see that the ingredients include a lot of poisons, including a harmful yellow dye called tetrazine, or yellow dye number 5. What you may not...
Now that's the yellow dyes he's talking about. Yellow dye number 5. There's number 1, number 3. The numbers go infinitely, and these are the poisons. Let's continue, folks.
I know is that this dye was originally made out of the sludge that's left over when you turn coal into coke for blast furnaces. It's called...
This dye is made from the sludge that is removed from the coke and blast furnaces. Excuse me, can you... wait a minute. Stop the train. Stop the train. That yellow dye number whatever is produced from the sludge from the coal.
Coal tar, and I've actually sued many big industries for legacy contamination of coal tar all around the country because it's so toxic and it's so harmful to the environment and human beings. A century ago, it was just an obnoxious industrial byproduct that everybody was trying to figure out ways to get rid of. One of the ways that they did that was by paving roads. But then a British
How do we get rid of the sludge? Well, we can use it to help pave roads and all this and that. Well, here's a thought. We could produce dye and put it on the foods to make it dangerous, to make people sick, and get on that merry-go-round of healthcare.
chemists figured out that the coal tar could be used to derive fabric dye. And if fabric dye, why not food? Food manufacturers began using it to cover up the discoloration of low-quality foods that they wanted to pass off on unsuspecting customers. They didn't know back then that this yellow dye, tartrazine, causes tumors, asthma, developmental delays, neurological damage, ADD, ADHD, hormone disruption, gene damage, anxiety, depression, intestinal injuries. Well, we
And then when little children are eating it, all of a sudden they got all these mental health problems. They cover all the bases. They cover all the bases. Then they have to go to the doctors because they have ADHD, they got all this autism and everything else. They don't miss a trick. Thank you, Vivian. Formaldehyde. Vivian Mallory, formaldehyde.
know it now. We've known this for decades. That's why tartrazine is heavily restricted in other countries. In some countries, foods with tartrazine have a warning label that it may cause ADHD in children. Today, it's made from petroleum, not coal tar. Either way, it's crazy to add this to your kids' favorite foods.
Wow.
It doesn't even change the flavor.
We could talk about profits and all of that corporate corruption, but this is just paramount to evil. This is evil, moralistically speaking, that they knowingly put this stuff in there. They know the side effects of it. It's been going on for 40 years.
Yellow dye isn't just in junk food. It's in the foods that we consider healthy. It's in the everyday kids' snacks like popcorn, mac and cheese, fruit snacks. It's in sports drinks like Gatorade and so-called vitamin water. It's even added to chicken broth, to corn, to pickles, to mustard, and to yogurt. And so, of course, our kids get sick. And we lovingly feed them chewable vitamins, which have, surprise, tartrazine. And so the cycle continues.
The children's vitamins has tartrazine in it. But they want to wait to the year 2027 and the year 2028 to address this. This is a national health crisis today and 35 years ago, and it should not wait 2 more years or 3 more years.
Until the coughs and asthma kick in, at which point you go to pick up some cough syrup. And yeah, you guessed it, tartrazine. I've been picking on tartrazine.
Tartrazine's in cough syrup.
Hey, but that's just one of at least 100 chemical poisons that our health agencies allow into our children's food. I can make a video just like this to talk about Red 40, BHA, BHD, potassium bromate, chemical after chemical, and on and on and on. If just one of them can cause all of these problems, imagine what they're doing in combination. That's never been studied. If we took all of these chemicals out, our nation would get healthier immediately. We'd have fewer sick days. We'd have better focus. We'd have less anxiety. Our kids would learn more easily. We'd lose weight. We'd have more energy. We'd have fewer.
It also plays a part in the dumbing down of America because the kids don't have mental acuity, and it's just turning us into robotic sheeple consumers, and it affects everything across the board.
tumors and longer lives. It's not all dark. Over the past 16 years, the government has banned 8 chemical additives that cause cancer, genetic damage, asthma, and many of the other health conditions as tartrazine does. And you know what's interesting? All 8 of those crucial steps forward in our kids' health were taken under President Trump. But the Democrats who claim to be all about health care.
President Trump was the only one that gave a damn about getting some of this stuff, and he had 8 out of 1,000 chemicals at least removed. Try to make things a little better, and that's why he's got RFK Jr. on point, because RFK Jr. has been studying this since the beginning of time. So Trump has your health best interests in mind. Talk smack about him.
Have stood by watching other countries ban these poisons that make our kids sick, asthmatic, hyperactive, and depressed. They left them on every supermarket shelf in America. They even used your tax money to put them in your kids' school lunch. So their big food and their big ag donors probably gave them all that golden handshake and the big money hug. And their big pharma donors probably called them up and thanked them also, because now
and passed out the envelopes.
They're going to make billions selling Adderall, Prozac, and rescue inhalers. Enough is enough. President Trump and I are going to stop the mass poisoning of American children. Together, we're going to make America healthy again.
Neuropathy might be pushing you to the...
And they will set in Congress, I imagine that they will put these new acts together, that there has to be this new structure of what is going on grocery stores' shelves. So they shouldn't, that will be enacted and through legislation and things like that, and get that in order so the next presidents can't screw that up if the Democrats get in, because the gig is up if a Democrat gets in, because that's a wrap. Johnny D, this needs to be addressed 30 years ago and today. How the hell does this past food administration, maybe we should worry about our own country instead of others. They just sell out everything. All they do is sell out for their own profit, for their own agenda, and they just tank the citizens every imaginable way. And it's just no coincidence that the Democrats support it. And I'm saying there's probably other Republicans, historically speaking, because I try to be fair here. And of course, there's Republicans on the other side of the aisle that probably got envelopes too, that because somebody's been turning their head for 40 years. So
limit. But there is a simple way to end this pain for good. The burning, stabbing.
So I think we're going to make America healthy again. So come up with the proper legislation, enactments that will be presented to the legislative bodies and get these things passed. Now, I know they're not going to address that to 2027, but there has to be an expedition. They have to expedite this. So there you have it, folks. Vivian Mallory, thank you for helping me out here. I appreciate that. Johnny D's in the house all the time. I appreciate you guys coming in here, helping me out. Benny Blanco from the Bronx, thank you. Lee Montoya, thank you. Anybody new in here that doesn't comment, thank you. So I know I don't want to get too political anymore and things like that, but I can't take the pressure. Vincent Hernandez, thank you, bro, for coming on in. I can't take the pressure. George Music for all 4 seasons, thank you. We're going to do some music videos because we like to jam. Exercise is great, but weight gain is 90% what we eat. Like I said, it's not easy. Yeah. Me, I'm older. I just do a little walk. Try to get some of that belly fat removed off of me. So I've always been thin my whole life. I was an athlete, distance runner. Juju, how's it going? So, James Rockford, the Rockford Files, Sir Drums, the music man. So yeah, we're just gonna stay aware of these types of things, and I really appreciate the support. The new people that come in, the other people that have been here before. I appreciate it. And the next video, we're gonna get back to the uh, gangsters, not the government gangsters, the old historical gangsters, and talk about uh, how they used to launder money and things like that. Now, I always got to be careful what I say on here because I don't know the dang rules, But we'll uh, we'll just put that together. How about those Buffalo Bills, Johnny D? I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna stop mm, Baltimore. I don't know. That defense has a lot of holes in it, but you just never know. You never know what's gonna happen. It's like the Philadelphia's cursed, the Buffalo Bills are cursed, the Dallas Cowboys can't, you know. Uh, well, yeah, we're gonna, it's just some interesting things. And I'm gonna put a lot of these tidbits. I'm gonna write another book of graffiti type of things, and it'll just be an easy read. You could turn to any page and see some wild and crazy stuff. That if it's entertaining, it's entertaining. Okay. Cleveland is too, Johnny D. uh, what can you do? Sports. Mm. Yeah, I don't know, but we're gonna keep the show on the road. And thank you, Melanie King. I know you don't watch, but I don't want no trouble from that beautiful lady. Uh, you know, because I'm just playing her voice in here, and I don't want to step on the rules of how it works. But uh, Melanie King, keep up the great work because we need more people on social media platforms to open people's eyes and make them aware of the atrocities. And these are like crimes against humanity, treasonous things against our country. These are like paramount to war crimes. Got to clean that swamp out again. But that swamp might be a little deeper this time. The swamp might just be a little deeper this trip because they see the end coming and they want to get it all in before they get their papers, their walking papers. So they want to get it all in while they can. And we'll see what happens. It's a unique time in America when we've gone through so many different types of things that from the El Bizarro world, we've been in the Twilight Zone. It's been insanity what has happened to America in this last 4 years. It was divine intervention that Trump turned his head at that time, because who knows where this country would be right now. We'd probably be under martial law. That sounds extreme. Oh, well, whatever. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. So, thank you, Vivian Mallory, for helping me out and sponsoring this video. I had a sponsor. Wow, I feel good. I had a sponsor. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Johnny D. You always on point and everything like that. I appreciate. Uh, you know, you know. Thank you, Johnny D. It's nice to have validation. If you're in a marriage or you're in a relationship and you have a spouse, tell them you appreciate them. Well, Jojo, they know I love them. They know I appreciate them. Well, just utter the words. They'd still like to hear the words. So you guys know that I love y'all, but you still want to hear the words. Words are powerful. Okay. In the beginning, there was the word, and the word became life. So let's stay in tune with that. and we'll just try to rise up and everything. And so I wanted to do this video. I did that one earlier about Kendrick Lamar. It was just a little gimmick video about that beat in there. Squabble up or whatever, and you get it all here. So yeah, I appreciate that. We're at 1,300 subscribers. I know there'll be a wise guy in there that's gonna unsubscribe to make it $12.99. I know that happened to me when I got to 1,000 subscribers. There'll always be a cutie pie in there. I don't want to give anybody any ideas. I shouldn't even said it, but there'll always be some guy that's just still living in his mother's basement and go, yeah, look, I'll put him at $12.99. Yeah. You got to deal with that stuff. All right. That's all right. Cause I'm going to 20,000 anyway. So that's all, I like that, thank you, Johnny D. Thank you. No, we got to stick up for our rights. We can't just be little fruity pie rainbow wimps. Oh, thank you, Johnny D. And we have things in common. We think the same way, Johnny D. And that's how we do it here. I don't try to be some tough guy. I might talk a little crazy, get in trouble, but I want to rise people up. I want to rise people up in their mentality. I want to rise people up in their relationships. I want to rise people up in the current events. I want us to have a higher quality of life. I was dead for an hour. I'm a medical wonder. Thank you, Jesus, and the guardian angels that came and some aided me. So if I got any breath left in my body, I better say something enlightening along the way, the best I can. So I'm going to get it in as long as God lets me. And I talked to the good people here. And I didn't know I was going to die that day. That was January 18th, 2014. So that death date is coming up. Yeah. That 11-year anniversary is coming up. 11 years since I went down. So God is good every day. So I have to say some enlightening things on here and just not talk about mafia stories. I want to share a good word that can help people in their thinking and their mentality, and if they got maladaptive behaviors and issues like that. So we can roll like that too. So we're at 1,300, and my 11-year anniversary is coming up. So we're just going to keep pumping. Okay. Johnny D, thank you. Vivian, thank you for helping me out. And we're just going to grow together. Okay. Maybe someday I'll say, yeah, remember I had 1,300? Now I got 130,000. And I'm not eating bologna sandwiches anymore. I'm eating filet mignon. Thank you, folks. All right. So thank you, Vivian. 1,300. I got to keep the train going. All right. We got to keep the train going. So thank you, folks. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. And I'll do that one later on in the evening, like I usually do. So hit the notification bell, and you'll know when I'm coming on here. And I'm going to tell a good old-fashioned mafia story. And yes, Johnny D, yes. We got a whole crew of good-looking people in here, and they're thinkers, and I get off on that. I like thinking. I'm not the end-all knowledge on everything. We throw things around, but this stuff is easy stuff. This stuff isn't even argumental. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this stuff isn't even arguable. All right, there you have it. Just check the notification thing, and I'm going to talk about a little money laundering stuff that might have been happening. Okay, so thank you. Continue to be the kings and queens of your world. If you need help, ask somebody for help, and maybe you could get some assistance if you're going through some troubles. Life is a lot shorter than you think. Get these things addressed while you can, so you can have a higher quality of life. Okay? Don't take tomorrow for granted. All right? So let's rise up in every aspect of our lives. All right? Everyone stay positive, Johnny D. Yes. Juju, all right. Juju reminds me of JoJo. So, yeah. Because when you have that positive vibe, well, we'll do that video. We'll get into some quantum physics. You know how I roll. We'll do some the human body, the heart, the electricity. We're gonna do some quantum whatever. You know how me. You know how we do it. So we cover it all. We cover it all. Even Kendrick Lamar. I hear the music. Squabble up. We cover it all. All right. So God bless you all. Stay tuned. I really appreciate you, well-intended people in here, and have a great evening. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vivian, for donating here, and everybody else for their support.